Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm back, all right, and today we're going to be doing a recap of UFC Fight Night 174, and we're going to talk about this Saturday, August 1st, Fight Night, which will be back in Vegas with Derek Brunson against rising star Edmen Shahbazyan. All right, so first let's do a recap of UFC Fight Night 174. It was a fun night of fights, a lot of fights. It was like a 15-fight card and a 7-fight main card. Now, the one fight that I didn't talk about last week but talked about today, we'll talk about today, was this impressive middleweight rising star. His name is Khamzat Chimaev from Chechnya, but he's also fighting out of Sweden, so he represents both. Wow, impressive. He had recorded 2 victories in the last 10 days. Now, that's a UFC record. So it's pretty impressive if you think about it. And he took literally no damage. He finished both of the guys in 10 days. In the first round, he only took 2 punches in both fights combined. So he wants to make a quick turnaround. He already talked to UFC President Dana White about being on the August 15th card, which I think is amazing. I mean, if he's going to fight again. For me personally, I do not want to see him against a top 15 guy yet. I think that's a little too soon. But maybe somebody in like the top 20, I think that would be good. Somebody maybe like a veteran that has a name but is obviously older. I think that would be good just to kind of see where his skills are at. But he's a rising star, and that's somebody I would watch out for. And you guys will hear that name, I'm sure, pretty soon. All right, so let's talk about the fights that I went over in the last video. Now, if you do recall, I did make 4 predictions, and I actually went 4 for 4. So if you guys are interested in gambling, I'm not saying I approve of that, but hey, if you listen to my picks, you might win some money. And if you want to kick some over my way, that'd be great too. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but the first fight we'll talk about is Carla Esparza against Marina Rodriguez. Carla Esparza won by split decision. It was a tough fight, close fight. She took Marina down at will, pretty much had control there, and that's how she ended up with the split decision victory. Now, I think next for Carla Esparza, probably bump her up into the rankings, maybe to number 6 or number 5, because she was number 7. I'd like to see her fight someone in the top 3. I think, well, Rose, I think, will get the title shot, so that excludes her. I would like to see maybe Jessica Andrade, who just lost to Rose Namajunas. I think that'd be a good test for Carla to see if she has what it takes to get back into the title picture. So if she could beat her, I think then she could probably get to the next title shot. But I think that'd be a good step up for her. In the next fight we talked about was Fabricio Verdum, who I had picked to win. I didn't say how he was going to win. I should have done that because I did think he was going to win by submission, but he did win by an armbar submission in the first round against Alexander Gustafsson. Verdum is 42, so he really, unless maybe he wants to fight some aging vets, maybe like a top 15 guy, but I don't think he has what it takes in the heavyweight division, though it is kind of thin, so it's possible he could make another run. He is a former champ, but I think that's where he's at. With Alexander Gustafsson, I do not know where he goes from here. To me, he's a younger guy. The fact that he lost to an aging vet is not a good look. And it wasn't even close. He just got taken down and boom, a first round armbar. It's not looking good. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. He can't go down to light heavyweight because John Jones is the champ and he's already lost to him twice. I don't think he has anything for any of the top heavyweights. So to me, he's kind of in limbo. He could take fights, maybe even think about retirement, but I just don't see a path for him anymore. So then the co-main event, which I also predicted correctly, was Shogun Rua against Little Nog. I'm not going to try to butcher his name again. So, no offense to any of the Brazilians out there if y'all are watching. But, Shogun, it was a close fight. It was a good fight. Shogun won by split decision. Again, both guys are old. Shogun, he could probably take legend fights. I think that'd be good for him. He's way past his prime. No need to throw him in with a young guy. You'll lose. For Little Nog, he retired. And if you are not familiar with him, he was a legend. He is a legend. He is a legend. He did a lot for the sport, him and his brother. He did retire after the fight. I suggest looking up some fights about, if you want to see some of his old fights. He had a couple fights with Shogun in his, before, and when they were in their prime, and those were wars. I would suggest looking into that if you want to get familiar with MMA. Definitely somebody to watch some videos of. So happy retirement to you. Salute to you, Little Nog. Thanks for all your time and putting on some fun fights for us fans. All right, and then the main event was Robert Whittaker, former champ, against Darren Till. Now I was wrong about that because I said it would be by KO, but I did say Robert Whittaker would win, and he did win by unanimous decision. He had some adversity in the beginning in the first round. He did get dropped, but he recovered well, and then he ended up dropping Darren Till in the second round. And then from third to fifth, he took kind of control over the fight there. For Robert Whittaker, again, it was a good victory against a top 5 guy. I want to see him probably fight Jack Hermanson, who's coming up. He's the guy making noise, or maybe the loser of Israel Adesanya Paulo Costa fight, will be in September. That's for the belt. To kind of see where Whittaker's at. So for Till, I mean, he can still fight some guys in the top 10. So, you can try to make another run. He's still very young, so he has time to get better. But yeah, that's where I think Whittaker stands there as far as for him. So yeah, that's recapping that. And remember, it went 4 for 4, so just kind of let you know. So this week's card, I'll be talking about the 5 fights on the main card, and I will actually give predictions on all 5 fights. So we'll see if I can keep it up and make another 5 for 5 run. That would be great. All right, so the first fight we'll be talking about is Trevin Giles against Kevin Holland. Now, they're kind of been inconsistent. I think if anybody will win, I think Kevin Holland will win, probably by decision. Again, those guys are kind of lower in the rankings. It should be a fun fight, so we'll see how that one goes. The next fight is Lando Venata against Bobby Green, and that is going to be in the lightweight division. So Lando Venata won his last fight against Yancy Medeiros by unanimous decision. Bobby Green beat Clay Guida by unanimous decision. Bobby Green's his career has been up and down, up and down. Lando Venata did fight Tony Ferguson. He lost, but he has been in there with bigger names. I think he is a younger guy. I think he will pull this victory out. I'd say by decision. But that should be a fun fight. I think there will be a lot of action. Both guys put on a lot of action. I think it'll be a good action fight. The next fight after that will be Vicente Luque against Randy Brown at welterweight. Now, this is a fight I'm looking forward to just because I'm very impressed with Vicente Luque. He beat Nico Price in his last fight by TKO. I think he throws heavy shots. He has good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. I think he's now starting to put things together. I think he might make a nice little run back at the welterweight division, so it'll be interesting to see. Randy Brown is going to be tough, though. He just beat Wandy Alves, sorry, I'm saying that name wrong, by triangle choke. He's on a 2-fight winning streak, so it'll be a nice little test for Vicente Luque, but I think Luque has what it takes to pull it off. The co-main event will be in the women's flyweight division. It'll be Joanne Calderwood against Jennifer Maia. Joanne Calderwood won her last fight against Andrea Lee by split decision. Maia lost her last fight to Kathleen Chookagian by unanimous decision. I think Calderwood is the better fighter. I think she'll pull this off. I think by unanimous decision. It will be a fun fight. Women usually put the better fights, in my opinion. So I think that one will be exciting. It'll be a good one to watch. But I think Joanne Calderwood will pull that off. And then we have the main event at middleweight. So you have Derek Brunson, he's a vet, and he's very dangerous. He has tremendous power. He has skills. He's been in there with the top guys, and he's fighting against up-and-comer rising star Edmen Shahbazyan out of Glendale, California. He's amazing. I mean, this guy has looked sensational. He's undefeated. He's only 23 years old. I mean, this is a guy you want to watch the highlights of. I mean, he's been very impressive. He won his last fight by first round TKO against Brad Tavares, who's a veteran. I mean, so, he's, like I said, Edmonds putting in work. You could see he's 23. I think this will be a great test for him to see where he's at in the next level. I personally think he will win this fight. He might actually win by knockout. It wouldn't surprise me, but though you could see, I think Brunson will push him a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a decision as well. Kind of test Edmonds' cardio, because Edmonds been blowing people out in the first round lately, so I think Brunson might be cautious a little bit just to kind of push him in the later round, see how his cardio is like, because this will be Edmonds' first 5-round fight. So I think Edmond has what it takes. The fact that he's a local kid is also somebody that you want to watch out for, because he is from Glendale, California. But Edmond, he's only 23 years old. So sky's the limit for him, especially if he wins this fight. He doesn't need to be rushed because he is young and his skills are just developing even more and more. But yeah, that's my wrap up there. Again, there's 5 fights I mentioned, so check out, take a look out for those predictions. As you can see, in case you want to bet. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so we'll be talking soon, and I'll be doing some more videos for you guys. And if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, I greatly appreciate it. All right, peace.